seeing trouble. They need lots of help in terms of place to stay, in terms of things to eat, in terms of water, in terms of clothing. You would have realized that the police station was destroyed, so security have to make whatever makeshift to stay. The health center has been damaged. When I was up there, they were tending to you in the lobby. You found that other essential services is critical at this point in time. They're trying to see how much people they can get off the island, so maybe things will be better. What I see happening is a lot of people banding themselves together in order to try to help one another survive this devastation that has been happening, that has happened on on the island. It's a very serious situation. Some people already started complaining about water, and if they don't get it soon, they don't know what is going to happen in the distribution process. It need to, to check as much people as possible, not just passing here, there, and there, but there are people who live away from the main roads. They need to check them, make sure that they are okay. There are people who have 11, 12 or so, taking people into the homes, into the downstairs. That is essential. Well, if it rains, it's more difficult for people to survive in wet, cramped situation, because sometimes I'm telling you, the shelters, there's a shelter in Ashton, it is overcrowded. When I passed, it was overcrowded. The amount of people that were inside there, and it's even though some has left, you find that it is still too much for a shelter. Most of the places that they said were shelters have been damaged, so they couldn't have been used as shelters. But what I'm seeing here, I'm telling you, is total devastation. About 6 to 8 houses in Union survived in terms of having a roof. This thing has broken down houses like you don't believe if a house was there. It's very sad.
And you also live on Union Island?
I live on Union Island. My house was severely damaged. Also, the roof went for 2 days. I was in a room that is totally wet. I mean, half of the roof at the back that only survived. When it rains, it's soaking water. So for the past night or so, I have been sleeping in my jeep. I'm now heading to my road to see the situation there, and from there I'll go to Canon to assess what is happening.
All right, then, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Stormy, really stormy. Very stormy. Very, very disturbing. This is another video. Wow. Mm. Very disturbing, guys. Very disturbing.
In the hurricane, when the rain started to come, I went down by my mother-in-law, and after we were there, when the wind picked up, we hear zoom, 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 zoom. Then after when the wind gets stronger, I heard bap, bap, bap. The wind take up the roof, spin it, the structure, and just pitch it down on my mother-in-law house. And while we are in our mother-in-law house, the galvanized start to make noise and start to blow away, and then the house start to leak. And I have my son along with my grandson, and they was asking if they would be okay. I tell them yes, and then the rain start to pour in the house heavy. It's like the house actually flooded. Everywhere was flooded, and we have to stand up in the water. And then he started to sleep in the rain because he said he frustrated, and he think that we are going to die. So I tell him no. Then he started to pray, and then he asked God to have mercy on us and the family, and they start to sing, Jesus love the little children of the world.
Where have you been staying since the hurricane?
I'm staying with a friend on the hill
And why have you decided to stay in Canawan maybe then rather than move to St. Vincent?
because at the time I did not know like the boat was coming, and it was already late. It had a lot of people was on the wharf with vehicle, and I didn't want to run the risk the afternoon to go with my son and my grandson. So I said, when it slowed down a little more, I will head to St. Vincent.
Not, I was not scared. I was just holding on to my mommy the whole time.
How do you feel now that your house is destroyed?
Sad. Because we was living here all the time. But now, for the longest time, it just destroyed and gone. All the memories was in there. The pictures, the memories, all gone to rubble.
How old are you?
8th
What class are you in?
grade for now.
Well, as you can see, only them together to survive. Everything in the house come almost damaged. We didn't even get to save anything. Yeah, everything gone.
What was the actual hurricane like in here in Canawan?
Oh my God, it was like a tornado. Seriously, because in local size, like things was going like that. Wow. No hardly rain, no thunder, no lightning. Yeah, and the wind was real strong. Yeah.
How many people live in this house?
Well, five of us, me and my four daughters.
And where have you been staying since the hurricane?
Oh, we stayed wrong by a friend, downstairs by a friend.
And what exactly happened to the house after the you said there wasn't a lot of rain? So did
No,
your stuff get wet and all of that?
yeah, they get wet, and Tuesday we get to dry some stuff, and yesterday everything wet back up.
Why did you decide to stay on Canawan rather than maybe go to St. Vincent or another island?
Well, I'm planning to take my kids to Vinci as soon as the boat come down. So yes, don't want them to be in this situation. Carrying them up for the stay by the auntie. Originally, I'm from Vinci, so
Well, after the hurricane is a very, very disastrous thing. Looking at everybody lost like most of what they have. Some people have no clothing, some people are in the shelter at the school, the Anglican Church, the Roman Catholic Church, the Wells of Living Water Church. Some people still are housing by some folks, like for instance by Clark. He takes some folks in by his house. Um, Me, I'm riding out to the back of my house, to the front of my room. Is part of the roof is gone, but I got a tarpaulin from Nemo, no Red Cross, sorry, and I covered on part of the roof so I can sleep in that area. Um, I came to get some food by somebody else's kitchen because there is nothing for me to cook on. But I am not worried about that. I'm worried about a lot of people who don't have any place to sleep, anything to go by, like their food, they lost all stuff, because I think a lot of people didn't take warning. As I was telling one guy, I said, you need to go home and board up your all windows. He tell me he not boarding none. And eventually he lost all these windows except in two because he never bought anything. But for me, my windows are good excepting for two, even though they were bought out the wind. The hurricane, the pressure sucked those two glasses out from two of the bedroom. But I am not worried about that. I'm worried about people. I care about people, not even myself, because some people cannot deal with being in a shelter. Some people like claustrophobic. Some people talk about, okay, they're not in their own home, they can't even have a proper shower, they have to be sharing. But still, we thank God we have life.
Are you hopeful that kind of one would be rebuilt and you would see it in all its glory again?
Yes, but that would take about 10 to 15 years. 10 to 15 years. That kind of one is not coming back anyway soon. But I am not too worried about building back. I'm worrying about all of us had life. We didn't last any life. And I am happy that people could able at least to go to the tower side and get just a little bit of connection, maybe to for someone to hear their family, to hear their voice and say hello, and the signal would go. Because me, I'm worried because I can't get to my son in England. He doesn't know what is really happening to me. I don't know if he get onto anybody who knows about
He
me.
will know after this.
Yes.
The final question I want to ask you: how are you able to smile after all of this?
Listen to me. I'm a child of God. You hear me? I don't worry about material thing. What I worry about, having knowing my daughter came down and I heard my granddaughter voice before, and my son in England was up talking to me up and about couple hours before the storm hit. So for me, I'm a child of God. Once I have life, everything is good.
All right, guys. You see the Lord. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share.